So here it is. To me, this is Colorado's biggest matchup of the year. I won't say this is the most important game, but this is one of the biggest matchups of the year because this is a matchup where you have to go on the road and you have to stop something that has been shown to be almost unstoppable. This is where the season gets good. Colorado is heading down to UCF. We know for a fact UCF loves to run the ball. And this is what sports are made of. This is like when you're watching the NBA and they're in the playoffs and they say something like, oh, the series doesn't really start until a home team loses. And so this is Colorado's chance to show people who they are. I don't care about a close win against North Dakota State. I don't care that you got blown out against Nebraska. I don't care that you beat Colorado State. It makes me nervous that you beat Baylor in a nail biter, but that doesn't matter. At this point, this next game is the most important game because you are going on the road. That defense is going to have to travel to Orlando. You are going to have to stop UCF's run in order to get things going. And so this game to me is where I really get to see who Colorado is. We all know how football works. Well, most of us do. Anytime a team can run the ball and they're running the ball straight at you over and over and over, and you know that that's their game plan and you can't stop it, it is demoralizing. So there's a couple of things I'm going to be looking for in this game because I believe this is the start of Colorado's season. If Colorado wants to have a winning season, if Colorado wants to play for a Big 12 championship, if Colorado wants to do all the things they're saying they want to do, this is the game where they have to step up and prove that that's what they're going to do. So I am going to give my 3 things that I'm going to be watching for in this game as they go on the road because there's a couple of things I'm concerned about. So before I give my 3 things I'm going to be looking out for, I want to say a couple of things. First and foremost, UCF also battled from being down. They were losing 28-7 against TCU. So they're battle tested as well. So let's not act like Colorado's coming off of this win and UCF hasn't had to battle back this year. UCF is also coming off of a bye week. So I've always said teams coming off of a bye week kind of come off looking a little bit blah sometimes, takes them a minute to get going. That could go in Colorado's favor, so that's amazing as well. The other thing I want to mention before I get into my list is football is not based on one stat. If you look at any stats will tell you one part of the story, but stats will never tell you the whole story. Stats don't tell you about weather. Stats don't tell you about the intangible things. Stats don't tell you if so-and-so missed an assignment. Stats aren't telling you everything you need to know. So I want us to stop looking at stats or stop trying to find a good stat measurable that will make it seem like everything is going to be fine because the one stat tells us this. There's a lot of false equivalencies going on when we're talking about stats. There's a lot of stats maneuvering happening that are making sure that we highlight how great we are and how this and how that. Let me tell you something about stats. All that really matters is the team's identity and what they're going to do when they're on the field. And when they get on the field, the stats don't matter because competition on competition matters. And Colorado has to go to Orlando and take care of business. I almost paused there because for those of you that don't know, I usually make these videos either late Sunday night or early on Monday morning. And so as I'm making this video right now, there's been talks of a hurricane. I'm assuming it's going to come. I don't know where it's going to hit. I don't know where it's going to land. My assumption is this game is going to still happen, but obviously weather is tricky. So I still wanted to make this video though, because I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I needed to do this because if the game happens, I didn't want to be behind. I wanted to be ahead of the game. Having said that, let me get into the first thing I think Colorado has to focus on when they're playing UCF. The first thing Colorado has to focus on when playing UCF is stopping the run. And I want to take this a step further. We know KJ Jefferson. We know RJ Harvey. We know Penny. We know the guys that are going to run the ball. And their coach has said, we're going to run the ball. The coach isn't shying away from running the ball. They're going to run the ball. My concern here is historically, every single game Colorado has played, they have given up a lot of rushing yards. And thinking back to the North Dakota State game, they did not do a great job of stopping the quarterback sneaks and the quarterback designed runs. So this is going to be the game. This is game 5 where the defense has to step up to the plate and they have to slow down the run. I don't want to say they have to stop the run because I don't know if they'll be able to stop the run. I think that's a tall ask. But if they slow the run game down, I think that will be good, because if they slow the run down, chances are UCF will have to settle for field goals instead of settling for touchdowns. You don't settle for touchdowns instead of getting touchdowns. And if CU is able to stop their run game and UCF is settling for field goals, I think that's good. And being on the road, I think that is a win. We all know, for those of us that have watched football historically, defenses don't travel as well as they play at home. So basically what I'm saying is usually when a team goes on the road, usually the defense isn't as good as it was at home. I don't know why, I don't know how that comes to be, but that's just historically how things work. So if that's the case, I don't want to say that Colorado needs to go out there and hold UCF to under 100 yards. I just don't think that's possible. But I do think they have to stop the run in a sense that stops them from scoring touchdowns. I don't think you can have 40-yard dashes, 70-yard dashes, 60-yard dashes. I think that's a recipe for disaster. So my hope is that Colorado can tame the run. That's what I'm going with, is that Colorado can tame the run. And I say this in all my videos, and I'll probably keep saying it. The other reason why it was going to be important for them to stop the run or to get in the way of the run is because that clock. When you are able to run the ball effectively, you are able to possess the ball for a long time. And Colorado cannot allow UCF to have 7-minute drives, 6-minute drives, 8-minute drives, because all that does is it makes the game shorter and it's going to eat up that clock. And we cannot have UCF eating up the clock if we hope to win this game. The second thing I'm going to be keeping an eye out is Kobe Hudson. Mainly because this is, in my opinion, this is the first time Colorado is going to face a real number one receiver that can give you problems. And when you put all of this together, you're going to have Kobe Hudson playing wide receiver, who is a true number one. You're going to have two amazing running backs that are going to be back there, and you're going to have a mobile quarterback. So when you're looking at that from a defensive perspective, the defense is going to have to stop a lot of multiple things that have potential to happen. And so that is why I think how they defend Kobe Hudson is going to be important, because if they can defend him correctly and they can stop him, everything is going to filter back to the run, and that's kind of a scary thought to think about. So I don't know what Colorado's game plan is going to be. I think this is the time where Livingston's going to have to either, I keep moving my hair because when it gets close to the mic, it gets hacky. But this is where Livingston is going to have to earn whoever he's going to be as a defensive play caller, because this team is going to be very dynamic, and it's going to be very important that they do all of the right things to be able to slow down UCF's offense. Because if Colorado doesn't slow down UCF's offense, I'm a little concerned about this game, because when you have a solid run game and you can manage the clock well and you can almost control the time of possession, that does not bode well for a team that doesn't run the ball and things like that. So I am going to be paying attention to how Colorado defends Kobe Hudson. I'm going to see how Colorado really defends all of UCF's offense, because that's going to be the toughest challenge here, because I believe Colorado can score. I just don't know if Colorado can stop UCF from scoring. I'm going to kind of cheat here, and I'm going to throw in 3 things in my last bullet point. So the first thing is obviously penalties. Penalties. I think Colorado has like 30 penalties or something right now. So we cannot afford to have penalties. Second thing is you got to be able to protect Shedeur. I feel like that should just be a foundational statement that I shouldn't have to say that on every video, but here we are. The third thing is going to be, can Colorado get off the field on third down? Mainly because as of right now, UCF, I believe, is above 50% in converting third down plays. And if UCF converts on third down at that high percentage, it's going to be a long day for Colorado, and I'm going to have concerns in regards to that. So those are the things I'm going to be watching. Can we slow down the run? Because I don't think we can stop it, but can we slow it down? I think is going to be the first challenge. The second thing is going to be Kobe Hudson. What is that going to look like? How are we going to defend him? What are we going to do in that instance? And then the other thing, the last thing I just said, the penalties, keeping Shedeur upright and getting off the field on defense and third down. Obviously, as you can tell, my biggest concern going into this game is Colorado's defense against UCF's offense. I know that a lot of times in Colorado land, we want to hype up this defense. We want to talk about how great they are. If they are that great, we are going to see it in this game. If Colorado's defense is what Colorado fans are making their defense out to be, we are going to see it in this game. They are going to have multiple chances to stop this UCF offense. And so we are going to be able to see what this defense is actually made of. We're going to be able to see Livingston's game plan. We're going to be able to see how they adjust, and we're going to be able to figure out different things along the way. So here we go with my prediction. I am going to take UCF to win this game because UCF is at home. Colorado has to travel to UCF to win this game. I don't know if I believe in the defense just yet based off my prior experience of what I've seen this year so far. That Baylor game actually made me more nervous. I'm also concerned about their ability to be able to contain KJ Jefferson. If he gets going, if he gets running downhill, anytime a team can run the ball down your throats, it's demoralizing. It's not great. You don't want to see it. You don't want to be a part of it. And so I am going to take UCF to win this game. I think UCF presents challenges against Colorado that Colorado hasn't experienced yet. I don't want to make my opinion based on stats. The only stats I actually looked at were penalty stats because I was curious to know how many penalties Colorado had as opposed to UCF. Colorado has 30 penalties already to UCF's 14. The other thing I looked at was total defense and total offense because I was very curious to see how those things stood. I didn't want to look at the numbers and get into the statistics and things like that. I just wanted to really see who was ranked higher and who was ranked lower. So Colorado has more penalties than UCF and at 30, and Colorado has a better pass defense than UCF. However, in every other measurable as far as statistics goes, UCF is better than Colorado. UCF has a better run defense than Colorado. UCF has a better offense than Colorado. And as of right now, UCF has a better defense than Colorado. That is actually true. And UCF is able to have a better rush defense and has a better offense and a better defense. This game is going to get interesting. And so we'll see what happens. I'm going to pick UCF to win this game. Obviously, I'm a Colorado fan. I hope I'm wrong. I hope UCF doesn't win this game. But as of today, I'm picking Colorado to lose this week on the road. I'm hoping it's still going to be a good game. I'm really, really hoping I don't see UCF running up and down the field and Colorado can make this game close. Because at the end of the day, Colorado has Travis Hunter. And I don't care what anybody says. I think Travis Hunter is the best player in college football. And I hope that he can do some things. I just don't know if he can be everywhere and stop the run and stop the pass and defend Kobe Hudson and go. I don't know what this is going to look like. But I will say this is good football. This is going to be a good football game, and this is what football is made up of. And this is, quite frankly, some of those matchups that I like to see in football because it's kind of a stylistic matchup. So I will end this video here. That's my prediction. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know some things you're going to be looking forward to as you watch this game because these are just the things I'm picking up on. And as I always say, this isn't just the only things I think that can happen. These are just the things that I think we should focus on as we're watching the game. I'll see you all after the game.